It might sound strange to congratulate you. Congratulations for what? Let me delve into that a little bit. First of all, congratulations for getting here. As I said, it's cold outside. There's a lot of other places you could be. Some of you had to call in and use personal time at work, called in sick, called in dead. I don't know what you did to get here, but you made a sacrifice, and I appreciate that. These 3 days are actually a larger sacrifice than the $1,500 you paid to be here. To me, the $1,500 was easier probably than just rearranging your schedule. So I really congratulate you and commend you. And I want to tell you, you're not normal. And I mean that with love, okay? What do I mean by you're not normal? It is not normal to spend $1,500 on continuing education that is not required for your profession. None of you have a license to practice that is dependent on your continuing education here for these 3 days, yet you invested in yourselves. And most people don't do that. Most people only invest in continuing education when required for their job. So I commend and congratulate you. And I'll tell you this, you take anybody who is successful in any area of their life, if you can truly say, man, that person has mastered X, whatever it is. They have mastered a wonderful marriage. They have mastered parenting. They have mastered investing. They have mastered whatever aspect, fitness, whatever aspect of their life that they've mastered. I promise you this, they spent time and money with experts to get there. How many of you would agree with that? Can I see your hands? So again, congratulations. You're not normal. You're better than normal. You're smarter than normal, and I congratulate you for that. Not only did you make a leap of faith financially, you then told friends and family about your choice to do it, and some of you were probably met with some resistance. Anybody here get told something other than positive things about coming here today? Hold your hand up if you did. And here you are. So again, congratulate you. It's amazing to me how many people are talked out of making millions of dollars by people who are effectively broke. Trust me, if you ever share with a millionaire that you want to spend time, money with somebody who's an expert in any field, that millionaire is going to say, awesome, good choice. It's the broke people who always can tell you why things don't work. Yes, I'm going to recommend a book to you. It's Jack Canfield. Do you know the name Jack Canfield? He's the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul and many other great books. I think his best work is Success Principles. Jack Canfield's Success Principles. Principle number 1, by the way, I did a mentorship with Jack Canfield last year and 24 people. I paid $15,000 to spend 4 days with the man, and it changed my life. I made that much money back in less than 7 days because what he put into me. When you are operating at your best self, what improves? Everything. Everything. From spending 4 days with a master, Jack Canfield, I'm down 47 pounds. You should clap for that. If we do not take responsibility for exactly where we are at this point in our lives, we can't fix it. Because if it's somebody else's fault, if it's something else's fault, how do you fix that? You can't. So let's shoulder it, put it on ourselves. I know you're that kind of individual who already does that. That you shoulder the burden of your own choices. How do I know that about you? You're here. Let me promise you, and again, I always keep my promises. It's important to me that I do, morally. I promise you that I'm not going to let anything come out of my mouth while this microphone is turned on that is not designed and directly related to your success in this business. It may not be related to how to buy a tax lien or a tax deed, the nuts and bolts of it all, but it is directly, it's always going to be directly related to your success. And I'll give you one example. I'm going to spend a good deal of time on helping you build a vision for this business. And I use the term vision. Tony Robbins uses the word the term why. Have you ever heard, how many of you are Tony Robbins fans? Can I see your hands? He's fantastic, right? And he says you got to know your why. Your why needs to make you cry, right? It's got to burn inside, this reason that you're doing this. And I changed the term why. And I've been accused from time to time of preach teaching. Have you ever heard of that term? People say, man, you're a preacher. You preached, but you were teaching. I promise you, well, that is my background, okay? I was a missionary at a young age. I moved to Brazil at 16, was raised in a missionary household. It's just part of me. I'm not preaching anything about any gospel or any churchy stuff, but it's my vernacular. It's my frame of reference. So it's going to sneak in sometimes. Does that make sense? Not intentionally. Don't let it offend you. Those of you who don't believe as I believe, I love you anyway. And I can learn from you and you can learn from me. How many of you are kind of sick and tired of people taking offense so easily these days? Can I see your hands? I've learned something in life. Offense is never given. It is only taken. You can only take offense, right? If an idiot comes up to you and says something idiotic and stupid and offensive, do you have to take offense, or you can just say, that's an idiot? Does that make sense? It doesn't need to offend you. You can just, I call it duck's butt. How much water gets into a duck's butt? None. Duck's butt, man. Just don't let it in. Right? Just so you go, oh man, this guy's crass. So there's a little bit of that in me too. Right? But I use the term vision, and it really harkens back to scripture that I grew up with. A people without vision perish. Well, if you're setting goals and it's a why, it's a question, right? And then you hit an obstacle, you question why you're doing it. I do not want you to question your goals. I want them to be a vision. I want that vision to burn so brightly that when you hit an obstacle, and you will, you're going to get over it, around it, through it, blow it up, do what you need to do to get there, because it's in your vision. So the last 3 pages in your notes, I'm going to recommend that you turn to them right now, and on the top right, my vision for this business. So if I were taking notes today, I'd turn to the last 3, and I would write on the top, my vision for this business. And then I'd earmark it, I'd dog ear it, kind of fold it down or fold it out so that you can turn to it quickly. And anytime I'm teaching a principle that causes you to daydream or causes you to think a thought, don't worry about it. Go with it. Let your mind take you on those little trips and journeys of daydreaming about what I'm teaching about. As long as you're daydreaming about what I'm teaching about. That's a vision, right? Write those visions down. How many of you have ever had those little moments of clairvoyance, those little moments of inspiration, usually coming in the morning, and then they're gone by afternoon? Can I see your hands? We got to write them down. So keep your vision section here. Anytime you get an idea, like, wow, that'd be cool to do in that county, or I need to research that state, or I need to call my friend and talk to him about this or that. Write those things down. Those are your visions. And then every night, for these next 3 nights, spend time refining your vision for this business until it becomes clear what you want to accomplish, okay? Right? We connect with people. How many of you have ever met somebody and you just felt like you knew them your whole life? Can I see your hands?